Hello, welcome. My name's Frank. This is No More Paper. And I just lost some money on a trade. Yeah, well, you're listening to the most popular futures stream. Anyway, let's get started. I am tired. Tired of losing. I've been in a rut last couple weeks. I went from averaging around $400 to $600 a week on Sim. In Sim, I was trading with real money too, but I don't keep as close track of that because it's just different. Anyway, I was averaging that much on a $4,000 Sim account because I have a real account that I plan to trade again. Anyway, I went from that to now I don't know, I just can't crack it lately. I don't lose a lot though. That's the difference. There'll be times when you win big. You just have to make sure there's times there's not times when you lose big. And I've been following risk management to a T. Anyway, let's get into it. Already this morning we had ADP release, which shows employment is up. I don't know if the Fed really looks at this number much, but it just shows that the labor market's not doing terrible. So they would have no reason to cut rates. Every reason to raise rates. But they never will. Got to keep the bubble going. Between 9:45 and 10 a.m. we have a bunch of news coming out. We got PMI and others. So block that out. Headlines. Stock futures trade flat as AI fervor meets U.S.-Iran uncertainty. Freaking geniuses writing these articles, I tell you. Wait, now they're doing 75 billion IPO? I thought it was 2 trillion. Whatever. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back right there. Americans' financial literacy sags to a new low. Okay. What a useless statement. Another AI turd trying to make money. I thought all DeepSeek stuff was free. Who knows? Alright, so nothing really great. Why do all these CEOs just look evil? They look like caricatures of what a human's supposed to be. Alright, I don't know. I don't care. Let's move on to price. I want to be quick today. Oh, how did it switch to that? All right. Yesterday was interesting. We right at the open, it just seemed like we were going to make new highs, and we didn't. And then we traded at the top of that range for a long time. At least this range has now brought the POC up, if you don't count this as a completely new range, which I don't think I will yet. Well, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on that. If we, the ranges are getting low though. We're getting compressed. As well as volumes getting a little low. But we have a whole bunch of resistance right at the high, and a whole bunch of support or resistance. I'm always confused by the use of them, because if you're bearish, you're looking for the market to go lower, well then support would become resistance. But just for the sake of my sanity, we're going to call areas below price support and above price resistance. Anyway, big group of support around 75.75. I say that because it's easier to remember than 75.76. It's a general area. Several times now we've went down there and halted. All right, let's take a look at, as you can see, yesterday we just rocketed right up. It looked like we were going to just shoot right through the high, but we didn't. And then we just bounced back and forth the rest of the afternoon. Volatility was real low. It was kind of strange. Volume kind of fell off a cliff, and it was moving like it does at night. And then the overnight opened, and we couldn't even come back up to have another try. We failed. And the overnight opened, and around 6:50 Eastern Standard Time, we dropped very quickly. I mean, look at the level we dropped to. I always point out value areas because they are extremely important. We dropped right to yesterday's, right to Monday's. No, what's today? Right to Tuesday's value area low. That's the only thing that stopped us. And then bounced right back up. That's just crazy. I don't even know what the news event was. I don't even know if there was. It's too hard to tell. And it screws up VWAP too. As you can see, VWAP now took a huge dip. So it's hard to look at that. But we are now dipping down to that level again. I want to be vigilant. I'm thinking build into a position if we find support down here. All right, what do I think is going to happen today? My plan I do an if then. If this happens, then I do this. If that happens, then I do this. And I try to evolve that as the day goes on, as market changes, as price changes. And one of my ifs was if we pull back to, I picked, forget what levels I picked. Let me take a look. I picked this as one, 76.12. I tried one little contract here with a very tight stop in it. It failed. I should have seen it because the volume was telling me exactly that we were quite bearish. And then my other spot actually wasn't. Okay, yeah, it's a large area. My other spots, basically from 75.95 to 76.02 was the other areas I picked. It looks like that naked value area, well, it's not naked anymore, but yesterday's value area is again acting as resistance, acting as support rather. And my plan is build into a position as much as I can and ride it up to previous day's close or all-time high. My original plan was to get 2 or 3 contracts, take 2 contracts at previous day's close, and the last one at the high, because we are likely to make another attempt. After seeing how everything's been bought up for the past month, how can you not think that? But we'll see. What else could happen? We could have another range day. I wouldn't call yesterday a range day, but it was I forget what the name they give for that. When you're real strong in the beginning and then range for the rest of the day. But, I mean, look at how so green some of these days are. I think I'm going to build into I guess a stop right below here would be good. Even though there's a good chance we'll be halted down here. That's just too much. That's too much pain for me. I've marked 75 for a while now. But it looks like that's going to be good enough. I don't like that it's before the open, because I don't like holding positions into the open. So many times, we open and dart down. Or, I mean, up. Up would be nice, but I just don't like it. But we'll see. If we make 4 highs again, I have no idea where we'll stop after that. The next monthly pivot point is all the way up at 77.37, 77.35. So I don't know. We've been jumping up in ranges of 100 mostly. Well, maybe not 100. Let's take a look. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of measuring past ranges. I mostly focus on key areas. And so many times price hits value areas. At least markets right now. That can change. It seemed like a few months ago, price was respecting previous days' levels a lot more than it does now. But that's all I got. Good luck, goodbye.